right? So they'll never be seen by a parent or by somebody who is judging a parent as a kid who's always in grown folks' business. Some folks are naturally inquisitive. And so if I'm telling you, don't ask questions, don't talk, don't speak unless you're spoken to, that may be very opposite of a child's natural inclination. And so I wouldn't want to judge them on how good they're doing at a thing based on somebody else's measure. So I think that is always my grounding question. Are you doing your best? Are you going to sleep tired knowing that you've given all the energy that you had to try to accomplish a thing? And then we can ask a bunch of follow-up questions after that.
Okay. I see that. The reason why I ask that is because, when I think about, because I mean, we all have these experiences, right? Because like, am I doing my best? Like, regarding anything, your skills at your job or your career as a parent, as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a spouse, or whatever. And the first thing that came to my mind is how does one measure, like these standards, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And like you said, everything is individualized based upon who you are and your upbringing and stuff like that. But it's very interesting. Do you have any ways that you acquire like your affirmation? Like, do you have any books or anything or any actual mentors yourself that you go to?
I think about, so I try to take stock and inventory of how I'm feeling, of places that give me energy, of things that I want to be better at. And my affirmations come out of those, right? So both of my daughters have affirmations. Every time we talk, like we recite those affirmations, and they are based in affirming the strengths that they're already kind of moving in, but then also places where I notice maybe they feel a little less confident. Maybe it is an area where I notice, oh, this could be a pressure point where if we don't build them up in this area, it can be easily manipulated later. This is a place that they're looking for validation from somebody else. Let me go ahead and tell them they already have it, because they do. It's just being able to see that. So I think I'm just an observer. Like, I'm a social scientist. I look at things, right? And I speak things to a person that I see and what I see around them as well, right? So both the deficit and the strength, I just build the affirmations out of what I see in that space.
Okay. I'm getting my inner social worker. Like, we always do person and environment, and then we work around it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. It's always person centered. Love it. Yeah. I love your theology of things and of the affirmations. All right. I'm gonna do one more question out of respect for time. We're gonna keep this nice and brief. So I tend to repost these videos on the internet, and I share them to the other Your College students. So how I end my Fatherhood Initiative sessions is requesting you, the dad, to offer any type of advice for any young dad, potential dad, who's just starting out, like, and this is a broad question because there's mad advice, obviously, but what would be like a home run advice for a young, college student watching this? What advice would you have for them? Listen, I know it's broad. We can't be here all night.
No, I mean, I'm laughing because that would have been an incredible prep question,
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I mean, if you just want to say use birth control, no, I'm kidding. Stay away. I'm kidding, guys.
Listen, I would say fatherhood, the perspective of it needs to shift. Fatherhood is a huge burden if that's how you choose to look at it. It is somebody depending on you for things that they will never thank you for. It is somebody taking from you with the expectation that is what they are entitled to and it's supposed to happen.
My God.
If you see it that way, you can choose to see it a different way. You can choose to see it as an opportunity to help shape a life, right? You can see it as an opportunity to pour the best parts of yourself into somebody else who will run with it and never have the insecurity that you had in developing it because they started with it. Right? There are things that I've had to learn how to do and learn how to be as a man that I thank God my daughters are never going to have to learn to grapple with that. Wow. Because I am telling them that they own it in a way that nobody ever told me I owned it. Right? And when you look at it as an opportunity to really, when you look at it from the positive angle, when you look at it from that perspective, it's still challenging. There are still complex parts of it.
Of course.
But I think that motivation to give your full energy to it every single day and to go to sleep tired because you've been pouring into another life, I think it's easier to get back to that place of wanting to do that day in and day out. So shift your perspective on fatherhood. And that necessarily means, I know this is very multi-part advice. That necessarily means closing your ears off to what other people are saying about fatherhood. You have to know who your tribe are. Who are the people that can speak to you and who are the people that consistently speak life to you, right? One of the questions we were maybe going to talk about is what some of the stereotypes are around fatherhood. I don't know because I don't listen, right? I don't listen to what people tell me people like me are doing wrong because they're not in my tribe and I don't have to honor their word, right? Wow. And if I do see it, it goes in one ear and out of the other because I know that that's not what is going to govern the way that I show up in the lives of my children. So shift your perspective, which means shutting off your ear to people who don't mean you any good, finding your tribe, finding people that you can rely on, ask questions of, be vulnerable around, and just keep pushing.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dean. I mean, and that's why this platform exists, because my heart breaks at the idea of, just that narrative. Especially, I'm a Black girl, so the narrative of Black fathers just not being around. And I'm like, I know way too many present, dope, popping fathers, period, of all nationalities. But, in my community, this platform exists to highlight that because y'all do exist. And I'm not here to argue on or debate with somebody's son on Facebook or someone's daughter. Well, mama's did it, and we carry. Yes, we get it. We understand. But the point is there is a narrative that is very dangerous. It is very dangerous to our community. And, just thinking about seeing a Black child by themselves and just automatically off the bat, just thinking this person don't have a tribe. They can't because they're probably poor. Like all these things turn into you not getting a job, not getting accepted into school. Like these dangerous narratives that kind of like hover over our community. We need to start exposing them. And also, I just to piggyback real quick over what you said regarding different perspectives, and the perspective needs to shift because there's a multifaceted, type of fatherhood. Like there's you. My last session, I had a father in art. He's an artist. He's a professional artist. I had my musician buddies from The Voice. I had a pastor. I had a professor. There's different shapes and forms, and I'm just so glad to have. And I saw you on there, Randy. To have these dads, get some type of highlight and love. And, I hope that, whoever's watching this either now or later when I post it, just know that you are recognized, you are acknowledged, and you are loved. And get that tribe, and get the correct perspective. And even what you were saying earlier, like, you're going to be changing doo-doo diapers, and your baby boy might be pissing in your face like, oh, well, you gotta clean me. Like there are certain expectations. Like your baby's not gonna be 3 months old and say, thanks for paying the rent and buying me groceries. Like, no, they can't even speak. So there are some realities that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm not a parent, but I've had plenty of dookie everywhere in my house because I'm an auntie. But that's neither here nor there. They ain't gonna think they're not gonna thank you, even when they're old enough to form sentences. They still might not thank you. But you know what? You get up, you start your day, and do what you gotta do, and be the best father you can be.
Yeah.
And that's what your kids can ask for.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. Dean, thank you so much for your time. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. I love and appreciate you so much. And I want to thank everybody else who is tuning in and out of our live, and anybody else who's going to watch after this. Dean, any last words?
Yo, I appreciate you, Miya, so much for this. I want to thank a couple of, very few people. My former boss, Zachary Miner, tuned in very early on in this conversation. Another dope example of a great father. So many people who are walking alongside me. I want to shout out Yasin, who tuned in, Smith STEM Posse in the building.
Okay.
So many people from different areas of my life are here, and it's just kind of dope to see y'all. So I appreciate you seeing you in the place, for sure.
Yes. Okay. All right, guys. Dean, I love you. And good night, everybody.
Peace. Thank you.
Look at me not know how to end this because I'm so old. Wait. Oh, hold on.